How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of East Asia Soft, welcome to today's stream. Today I'm playing a game called GENIE, Reprise. Apparently this is a first-person adventure game. Oh, is this from that company that I think it is? Anyway, I actually wanted to start the stream off by showing you guys something. If we head over to my profile and look at all my trophies, then this is pretty cool. You could see that every game that I've played on PlayStation 5 for EAS so far this year, I've gotten a platinum trophy. So, Stickman's Arena, which I'm pretty sure I played last year, all the way up through Dungeonoid 2 Awakening last week. Got a platinum trophy in all of them. The only one I haven't gotten a platinum trophy is Finis, which I actually played on PS4, not PS5. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool that all these games I've played so far this year I've gotten a platinum trophy in. For any of you who are trophy hunters out there, oh, and I'm only one away from Hellwell as well. For any trophy hunters out there, can't think of a better incentive to get EAS games than that. Let's go ahead and hop into GENIE Reprise and see what kind of a game it is. Hello, Dim. How are you doing this fine evening? I won't lie, I'm a little tired. I only got 2 hours of sleep last night. So, if I'm a little less, yeah, it's this guy. Okay. If I'm a little less than enthusiastic sometimes, that's why. But I'm here to play, do my job, show the game off to all of you. I already know I'm not going to be continuing this on Friday, so. You do that, Tim. So I'm going to try and do as much as I can today. I'll just make the brightness like that. Apply. Let's just start a new game. Yes. It's one of these games. It's been a while since I played one of these kinds of games, actually, so.
Once upon a time, there was a story told. A memory of our people, so often of old, with a start so promising, we often recall. But sadly the ending, no guarantee of all. Thinking of happily ever after, a myth or just a dream? That life will bring us joy and love, or so it would seem. But no matter the ending, our memories will stay. So cherish the stories, and so let us pray.
That's kind of a nice little poem. The game is running at a solid 60 FPS.
Mirror, shattered fragments of past life, reflecting the moments that give each of us strife. Bright gleams of light, fading away soon, blurring the lines of reality and dreams that we swoon. The harder we try to focus and to recall, the more the memories slip away and begin to fall. Pieces of life that make us who we are. Beautiful shards of memories, dreams and far.
Poetry. I never did understand it. Part 1. Sunrose. How many trophies have we got? 17 trophies. Finishing the game gets you the plat. Holy cow, we're walking a lot faster than I'm used to. Ribbit. Ribbit. Alright. Okay, I see the icon on the top left. I take it that means we have to gather a certain amount of whatever this is. Oh wow, and there's beams of light going up into the sky. Probably indicating where all of these are. I don't see anything interactable right now. Yeah, these aren't interactable. Wow, this camera is really sensitive, really responsive. This whole game, like, I'm used to the games from this guy being kind of slow. This is just bolting through. That dragon has no skin. Now what? It's all filled up. Oh, okay. Have to go find that. There it is. Well, I wonder what happened here. I want to do something. Just because I know I'm not playing this again on Friday, I just want to see how long this usually takes. To beat. Looks like Dwaggy Knight's actually going to be playing this in 2 hours. How about that? Wonder if Dwaggy Knight's going to come in and say hi. Well, in any case, I don't have an answer as to how long this game takes to play. What am I looking at now? Find and look at the light. Ow.
Last night I had a dream of an unknown wizard, quite strange. He spoke in a language
Well, I suppose
I'd
if I
never
don't
heard
finish
before,
this today, I can
a
always come
single
back next
word
week.
That changed. He said
Since
that I had
supposedly
been chosen,
Rainbow
and
Skies
in
is
the
going
same
to
breath
be a
cursed.
really short stream.
He said, "Lula, you must retrieve the genie of your people. That is your task first." Because of my resilience and sight, I'd been blessed. The wizard said, "Go now. You must pass the test."
Interesting. And I had to hold down the square button in order to progress. Over here.
A wizard who wants the genie for own.
Guys,
is
I want
making
that
his
dragon.
way up the mountain alone.
I want that dragon. I want to
For
claim
if
that
he
dragon for
obtains it,
myself.
Our fate is sealed. We'll never again choose our own path to yield. So we must beat him and learn the genie's use, lest we be further cursed and no longer choose.
Huh. Kind of sounds like this poem has a narrative about the genie. I guess we'll see if we ever actually see a genie. Doesn't appear that I have a body.
I felt a call to go. I had to answer it. So I set off. I could not linger a bit. Though the path may be long and the journey hard, I had no fear, for I knew I'd go far. Though I may walk alone, I knew I was not, for my guide unseen was never forgot. I knew I had a mission, a task I must do, and I knew it was my own, only I could pull through. The sun rose slowly, and the sky did light. I had to embark on a journey of might. To the mountain of fire I had to go, to complete this task that only so.
Okay, I guess we're going somewhere. find the beam of light. Not this way. Oh, there it is. You know, I actually don't mind these kinds of games. It's nice to have a relaxing game that I don't have to think too much about. Just turn off your brain
The
and have
genie
fun.
once gave us choice and free will, but now no path is ours to fill. The shamans say that I'm a weaver and a walker. Only I have that right to squawk her. We have hunters and fishers, collectors and keepers. In this village we are all equal seekers. But I have been blessed with a special fate. The shamans have granted me a different path to
Shaman.
take.
Is that how the British pronounce it? Shaman? Like the Pokemon? Maybe, maybe not. No idea. There we go. This looks to be center town. Ribbit. Ribbit. This looks to be center town, so maybe this is the last one.
Weavers of words, of stories untold, the keepers of tales that must be retold. Poets and singers, their songs will resound, the warp and woof of our history found. Walkers of paths, the wanderers and dreamers, asking of questions, no fear of the unknown, searching for answers and seeking the light, to brighten the corners of our minds so bright. No one has ever come back to the village. No one has ever looked back again. The weavers and walkers have gone far away. The stories and answers they'll never betray.
That's kind of sad. Nobody comes back. Part 2, Mother. There's something sad about people leaving never to come back. Even if their journey is amazing, even if it's like the greatest adventure ever, the greatest journey you could ever take, it's still sad to leave and never come back. Okay, how do I... Oh, I interact with you. Got it. There we go. Hello, horsey. Ah, it's a nice female horsey. It's a Pegasus. The winged horse is a Pegasus. Oh, it's a cemetery. I just realized. Oh, now that's even sadder. That's a ginormous statue, my word. Well, does this mean we're in Rio de Janeiro? I don't know why I laughed at that. That was not a funny joke. Yeah, this is less a game and more of like an experience. You just go from point A to point B. Not much to interact with, but... Oh, there's still one left. Oh, way over here. But there's nothing wrong with these kinds of games. As long as you're able to remember that they're not a AAA gaming experience, not the kind of games made to win awards or anything, but the kind of games that are made for you to experience. Nothing wrong with that at all. Well, we're in a graveyard. Is this poem going to talk about that? Oh, hello.
I remember my mother. I recall her sweet face, though she had to leave me without even a trace. She was determined to find a way to break the spell. The genie's return was the only thing that could help. She was certain she was a weaver, not a walker that day, but the shamans had spoken and she had no say. So she left me in sorrow, her dreams unfulfilled. And I have dreamt of her ever since, and the village she left still. The day she left was cold and wet. The tall grasses had not been met. In a black dress and hair of night, she waded out into the light. She gazed above into the sky. The wind made her look like a patch of summer high. Her arms were clutched to her chest. I felt her sorrow and ran with zest.
Hi, Andrea. Well, whoever the poet is, they're reminiscing about their mother. Just hope they don't go burning down a whole village obsessed with it now.
As I watched her
Hi, T1000.
I thought of tears and the words that we would never share, of a life that could have been, but was never meant to be there. The rain kept falling all around, but I was standing still in time, for I knew in my heart the longest goodbye was mine.
Yeah, that kind of hits me. My mother's 70th birthday would have been last week. And, yeah, that was a hard day for me. She passed away in late 2021, and it's really sad knowing that I'm never going to see her again. So this is definitely hitting hard for me.
I close my eyes and see a sorrowful sight, her shattered soul in the candlelight. My father's heart deeply wounded and sore, his daughter's tears he can't ignore. I feel the urge to capture this scene through a painting of colour and sheen, but all I can do is run in the rain, feeling the drops like glass on my skin. I run to the shoreline and find my reprieve, where the sand, water and sky all weave a tapestry of solace and peace, where I can finally find my release.
Again, well, quite a few of you just joined. This is the kind of game that you sort of just walk from point A to point B and it plays itself. I guess this is like less of a game and more of a interactive poem. I think that's a good way of describing it.
For 10 long winters I've delved in my mind. Is life just a long goodbye? A bright spark of imperfection in a sea of nothing sublime. For this reason the shamans called her a walker, not a weaver of fate, for she had no answers, only questions, a journey of faith to take. A journey to find the genie, to fill her heart's cracked vessel a path of mystery and wonder, an answer she must unravel.
I suppose this qualifies as a poem. There's words, they rhyme, they have a counter to them. At least half the time. Which direction that way? Oh wait, it's inside of here. And then you gotta look in the direction of the light, and it activates the next verse of the poem.
The genie I'm seeking seems so far away, a secret so deep I might never find the way. What power could it hold? What difference could it make? Could it harbour the freedom it seems I must take? I worry I'm wrong, I worry I'm lost, but I'll keep on searching no matter the cost. The answer's so close yet so far away. I'm searching for the genie, here I will stay.
Part 3, Rufiso. And I'll go over the trophies list again. This is another easy plat. Just play the game and you'll get the trophy. 15 parts, and this is part 3. I think it's safe to say I'm not going to finish this today. That's a really giant statue. See these beams of light going in the air? That's where all of these are. Helps direct me in the correct direction to go. Can I interact with this? No. Okay. And again, for everyone watching, the game is playing at, excuse me, a locked 60 FPS. I just stream at 30 for you guys' sake. Twitch doesn't have an option for you to toggle between 30 and 60 FPS, so we've decided it's best to just stream at 30 for people with bad internet. But trust me, the game is a solid 60. I haven't seen a single drop frame or anything. For a game this simple, that should be expected, I suppose. Ribbit. 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 One more somewhere. Oh, way over there. And that is... Oh, it's over here. Hello again, Dem.
Rufiso and I were two of a kind. Our friendship was strong and our blissful love blind. We'd meet in the fields where the sky was so blue and run until dusk with no shoes on view. We'd return home for supper with feet quite a mess, and we knew that our friendship would stand the test. As we grew, our affections grew ever more strong. Our love for each other would last oh so long. We'd found our true halves, our
How do you like the
one
game?
and
It's
only soul.
you know, it's one of those walking simulators that we're used to playing, but this is like an interactive poem. You play through the game just go from point A to point B and activate the next part of the poem. I like it. I like this kind of thing because this is a great opportunity to just chill for a while. How do I get down from here? Will you let me go down this way? No. How do I get down from here? Not for you, then probably not. It's also super easy plat. You literally just play through the game and you get it. How do I get down from here? How did I get up here? Boy, am I lost. Probably a little stupid too. How did I do this? Is it this way? Yes. No? Guys, I'm stupid. I am stupid. I don't know how I got up here. I wish it would just let me drop back down. That looks like a path to me. Oh, just let me out. I could have sworn that I got up here over that direction. Did I not? Wait, that looks promising. Wow, okay, found it. How did I miss this before? There you go, Dim. See, that was exciting.
As I sat there with Rafiso by my side, the sun slowly set and the summertime tide, I felt a sadness and a longing in his eyes that made my heart ache and my spirit cry. He held my hand and we watched the light. His face was solemn, his words so slight. He looked at me and kissed me on my head and said, "I have to go," my heart filled with dread.
My creepy grin. Yep, not the first time I've heard that. Okay, where's that? Oh, right over here.
My heart was overwhelmed with sorrow. As he said goodbye and made his way, I asked if he knew he'd be alone tomorrow. He said it was the only life he could not delay. Our friendship has meant so much to me, but he knew he must go and make his own way. The fear of emptiness was greater than his fear of being alone, so he said goodbye, and I had nothing more to say.
Nothing more to say. Okay, it's back up there. Isn't it? Yep, sure is. A lot of walking. But like I said, I actually don't mind these. It's a nice change. Instead of having to worry about stressing over trying to get trophies and trying to perform well, it's nice to just have a game where your only objective is to walk from point A to point B. Genuinely, I don't mind this. This is nice and relaxing. Let's see if I can remember how to get down from here next time.
The soft caress of your words and deeds, naught can compare to your silence and lack of being. The jovial tones that filled the air as we lay upon the mossy ground, a flower placed in my hair. You admired your handiwork so fair, your platitudes so sweet, yet knowing that my love you'd never meet. Forever, you said, your breath upon my cheek, lying there in a bed of blooms so meek.
Yeah, exactly, Andrea. That's kind of what I'm thinking, is just turn off your brain and just enjoy. Part 4, Scarabs. I'm completing a part about every 10 minutes. This is less pleasant. It kind of reminds me of Jabu Jabu's belly. Well, at least we have less to worry about here. That's a weird statue. Right here. And right up there. Well, like I said, I would describe this as an interactive
when
poem.
We huddled by the fire, in animal skins like one great choir, of a millennial conversation to each a true desire. We sipped leaf wine and made a light, till fire opals gave us sight, salamanders writhing in the blaze. As fire snakes lazy ribbons gaze, a dream within a dream, a sight so grand, more beautiful than death or night's own command.
Also, there's a really low rumbling. I'm not sure if I like that. I mean, that's fair, Dim. I never understood poetry myself. Kind of reminds me of the game Eerie. I don't know what that is.
'Twas something in our past.
What's with
so
the
deep,
weird statues?
the knowledge
in
we had
fantasy?
tried to keep, the secrets etched on ancient walls, spoken down the ages' halls. We'd grown complacent, blind and numb, the truth obscured,
Just
no
abstract,
longer to
yeah,
come.
I guess that's
Or
the best
maybe
way to
nothing.
describe it.
Just a dream of minds that thought they were supreme. The drawings on the cave walls were no more than a child's doodles, nothing to explore.
There's probably a way to speed through this even faster. I'm sure I can skip the poem if I really wanted to. I just kind of don't want to. I'm sure there's going to be at least one person who watches this VOD and wants to actually read the poem.
I dreamed I was entombed, and Mother said with a sigh, "The vultures can't pick you, my sweetest of pies. My love for you is so deep, I won't leave you in this heap. I'm here to clean the spaces of gold rings and bare knuckles. Fear not the worms, for in death we remain vermivorous. Fear not your languid spine, I'm here to make us both entwine. We'll be scarabs entwined in this tomb, side by side, till the end of time.
Uh-huh. Part 5, Fisher. That was a weird dream. Although I guess a lot of dreams are weird, not something that most of us can help, right? Brains are weird. Oh, I want that castle! Guys, there's a castle! Guys, I want a castle. I want that castle. Right there. Right over there. I want that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, right in front of me. How convenient.
The fisher lives a quiet life, away from village strife. On the shore of the sea he does dwell in a simple hut he built himself. His skin is brown from the sun, his clothes are nearly done. His hair and beard are long and unkempt, as if never cut or combed once in his life. He spends his days fishing away, casting his line in the bay. He's a man of solitude and peace, living in nature's embrace.
Yeah, you could absolutely, excuse me, you could absolutely skip the poem. I'm just not going to. I'm not speed running the game, I'm doing a casual playthrough. For you guys.
The fisher never took a wife and had no kids. No one knew from whence he'd come. The villagers thought him quite eccentric, for he'd never eat the fish he'd caught, but trade them for the simple goods of life, no matter the weather, day or night. I once saw him pick a grasshopper from a reed. He held it gently in his hand like a precious seed, dabbed it with a bit of honey wild he'd gathered, and ate it whole, not a single thing he'd squandered.
There's a lot of these lines that I feel are questionable in terms of poetic construct.
The fisher had a plan that he would not depart, to catch each fish individually by its own art. My father said to him, "Take a basket of this sort, to travel with the fish and keep them in a single retort." But the fisher stayed his course and said with a smile, "I must carry my catch all together, mile by mile." My father then offered a net for his catch to be strong, but the fisher would not take it. He said nothing was wrong. The fisher had a purpose that he would not alter. He collected his fish, each one unique and a falter.
Is there supposed to be a moral to this story, or is the fisher just really pedantic?
I sat and watched the fisher quite still, his eyes on the skies without a thrill. He asked me why I had no shoes. I asked him why he had no too. He said he had no need to wear. I thought it odd, I must be fair.
Well,
But
if he's a
some point
fisherman,
told
he's
me
out at sea
he
all
was
day, so
wise.
fair enough.
For shoes or not, he'd seen the skies.
I wonder if this is one of those poems that is supposed to be deep, but it isn't really. Like, one of those abstract pieces of, going back to what Dim was talking about, fine art
A hermit half
that
mad,
is like,
so
oh,
they
it's
say,
so deep,
who
and I look at it
runs
as like,
with
I
wild
see
abandon each day.
3 pencil
Though his
strokes.
feet are sore
That's
and
all I
his
see.
soles are bare, he does not wish for shoes to wear. He likes to feel the earth beneath, to feel each moment in life to breathe. Though it's hard and rough, it's something dear, for that is why he chooses to go without shoes here.
Clearly shoes are overrated. Just ask the guy who fishes fish one fish at a time.
Though the world may say I'm mad for caring more than I have had, I say it's truer madness still to collect more than we need to fill the void of life's emptiness, for in the end it's us who are possessed.
Is that the point of that? Is that what that point is? Where in the world? Oh, it's way over here. Way over here. Oh, I hear seagulls. I can appreciate that. Adding a little seagull sound effect. And that's an organ. That's a church organ. That's what that sound is.
Riddle me this of what I speak, a tale of a king and a fish so meek. The king with his wealth had no peace of mind. The fish without it could still be kind. The moral of
Yeah,
this
well,
I'm
it's a
sure you
fish.
can see. It's not the things that you possess that set you free.
The fish without it could still be kind. Yeah, but the king probably eats the fish, so joke's on the fish. Right?
A king who hoarded all he saw was master of the things he'd store. He gathered riches, yet his need increasingly he'd want for more. His every whim was met, though his kingdom sadly fell. The more he gained, the more he'd jealously hoard. His wife and son neglected, he'd pile up his wealth in a chamber sealed away by a key. A son so young and filled with glee found the key to set him free from the chamber of his dad. The door he opened, delighted and glad.
Okay, what did he do? This is the king's son, right?
The king ran to the treasure room with a fearful crash, but sadly his son lay beneath the gold in a deadly mash. He dug with might and main, but his efforts were in vain, for his only son was now lost, and his love too late he did gain. He had collected things of wealth, but the only thing that mattered was gone, and the king in grief and sorrow wept for what he had done.
So his son got crushed underneath all of the gold? Is that what he's saying happened? This is a really long chapter. Comparatively.
The king once had riches, a fortune to behold, but now he's grown wise and his treasures he sold. He gave away all that was his to the poor. and he set out alone to live without more.
What about his wife?
Was this mad fisher once a king? I found it hard to believe, but he said, "Lula, wisdom comes at a cost, and it's not easy to retrieve." He had a saying to share, "It's wisdom the owl does bring. The wings of knowledge only stretch at twilight's ring."
So, narrator's name is Lula. He hoarded money, then his son died, and he decided, I'm going to go kill a bunch of fish for the rest of my life to make up for it.
Rain, rain came down today, a lesson to learn. That much I say, the time to change I can't deny, but only if I choose to try. Hope is seen in the darkest skies, a chance to change our destiny lies. A rumble of thunder, a sudden surprise, reminds me of hope and its sweet surprise.
Still going, wow. Rather long chapter. Well, I guess it's to make up for that rather short chapter just before this.
The fisher looked up at the sky with a smile. His wild eyes spoke wisdom, and I saw it too. He said, "Lula, seek the middle way between all and nothing, and you'll find it today. It's a secret place deep in your mind, where the genie you'll find if you search and you're kind. The greatest secret of all is that there's no big mystery. When you find the genie, you'll even know the gods' history." A madman spoke of a genie. It made no sense to me, that there was a secret of no secret at all, but I listened to his call. He said he'd been told by a wizard in a dream to search for a genie, or so it did seem. Was it a dream or was it real? I can no longer tell. Are we all in a dream? Is a godly being real? I'm starting to feel confused beyond belief. I can only hope the genie is true, and the madman's words will ring true.
So cryptic. Part 6. Cold. Bunny! Bunny rabbit! Hello, little bunny. Hop. Bomb, 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 till the very next day. That's a duck. Make sure there's none behind me, none behind me. Yeah, cold. Good way to describe this place. More bunnies! Okay. That rock formation kind of looks like a guy. Hey, I've played Breath of the Wild. That's a Korok puzzle. We found a Korok puzzle in this game, guys. This is a frozen lake. Is this the last one? No, one more. Okay. What now?
The summit beckons me to come and go. I ponder if my mother faced this way. Did she march against the wind and snow, forsaking all that held her back, she'd stay? No matter what I hear the wind, I'm sure your singing carries me away. You sing the rain, you sing the snow, and I can brave the elements today.
Well, I didn't understand a word of that. If there's any poets out there who will translate this for me into plain English, I would appreciate it. Where is that?
Your beauty so fair, my heart so aware of a love that I feel so close and sincere. Your eyes like the snow, so pure and serene. My love for you grows, 'tis ever so keen. Your face like a rose, so delicate and pale. Your charm so profound, I can scarce exhale. Your lips like the mist, so soft and divine. My eyes forever yours, my soul so entwined. Your touch like a spark, so warm and alive. Your presence so strong, desire I revive. Your voice like a harp, so sweet and melodic. My heart so enchanted and soul so romantic.
And the music's just a tiny bit too loud. I couldn't hear the voice. Clearly the words are on screen, so it's not a big deal, but... constantly having us look up in this one. That's interesting.
The chill of winter comes so strong. It brings the pale promise of hope so long. Though summer's end may seem so wrong, it's a sign of new life to come along. Though the green of summer's quickly gone, we'll brave the cold and stay strong. Though spring will bring no promise of return, we'll remember the warmth in our hearts to learn. Though summer may have sworn no reprieve, we'll still sing, trusting in what we believe.
Again, I'm sorry if I seem a little low energy today. I only got a few hours of sleep last night, way less than I needed. Just had a hard time falling asleep. That's simple as that. So, that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. This isn't exactly a high energy game either, so. Finally, don't have to look up.
We may come to regret that we bemoaned the florid heat of summer now flown. As the new grass lights the air with a gleam, we hear the promise of spring in the stream. Winter groans in the sheets of ice and snow, our mittened hands cupped against the cold. We sing of life, of hope that will grow, and meadowed birds join in our song of old.
Part 7, Spring. We just had cold and now we're in spring. How are we doing on trophies? 7 out of 17. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. You get 15 trophies, one per part, and then at the end of the game, when you beat it, when you finish it, you get trophy number 16, and the platinum's number 17. Okay. Yeah, that's right. For some reason, I thought it was 25. No, it's 15. Wow. We're good. We're all good. Follow the beams of light. There's one more way over this way. Spring. What awaits us here? I have no doubt that you could speed run through this game in less than an hour if you literally speed run it. Just point A to point B, skip the cutscenes. Where is that thing? Must be over this way. Oh, let me through. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm fine. There we go. It's over here. I had a 50-50 chance of picking the right direction, and I picked wrong.
I remember, as a child, when my feet were wild and free, the world around me was so fresh to see, I thought no one could ever hold me back, as I ran joyfully and leapt the grassy track. I collected foxtails and picked the bluebells too, weaving them together with a joyful tune. I made idols of innocence and joy, in my childhood days, when life was a toy. But then I learned that choices set our bounds. We give them names and we revere them with sounds. We invent our limits and take them to heart, and that is how my life story did start.
Right over here.
Spring is my beloved time of year.
My favorite time
when
of year is
foxglove,
winter.
Bluebells
I
fill
like
the
Christmas
meadow clear.
and Christmas
Their
presents.
beauty and grace bring a temperance so reverent, for I'm walking in a garden, seemingly innocent. Though we know this story of innocence will not last, still spring holds me, and nothing can surpass. Her sanguine nights come alive with hopeful expectation, a dormant beauty with thunders of reticence and elation.
Yay, spring. Didn't the groundhog say that spring was going to start here soon? Pretty sure he did not see his shadow this year. The other light was the actual sun.
As if unsure of her might, the languid roots of spring come to light, sallow in the vegetable black, slow, but strong enough to bring back the warmth of summer and crack the stone. The scent of warm rain her heart is shown. A verdant whisper of sprouts is heard. Her tremulous love opens rivers and birds. In any event, the clouds she'll disperse, and by her light she'll never reverse.
I can understand the sentiment of people who like spring, though. Winter is very dull. Spring really feels like it brings life back to the world, so I can absolutely understand the people who love spring.
The winter we had waited, so anxious and tense, for spring's sweet fragrances to break the frost's offence. Her feast of lights and blooms a promise made to keep. She holds me in her beauty, for knowledge I must seek. She sings me sweetly to love, I must surrender here, in gentle propagation of the annual's cheer. Her strength unseen in sleep, when soil and sun conjoin, unites us in the glory of the season's grand design.
And the next one isn't over here, so it must be through here again. Maybe not. Okay, where is it? Oh my goodness, it's here. I can't even see the beam. Wow, I'm really lucky I happened upon that.
Spring awakes. To me she brings a brilliant light and joy that sings. When rain descends, the world's alive. New life to us by nature's drive. When she dreams, she casts away the darkness and the rot of day. When she sings, her voice divine colours my world so sweet and fine. When she rises, in me she wakes, the sky anew, my soul she makes.
That's a nice little poem about spring. Part 8, Potter. Officially the halfway point of the game. I might be able to finish this today. Depends on how long these last 7 parts are. It's interesting that we had that poem about spring in the very metaphorical sense, while the rest of the poem seems to be in a literal sense. Literally talking to other people, literally talking about where I'm going. And then we get to spring, and it's like, oh, spring is so nice because, like I said, like it's like the world's waking back up again. It's so warm and radiant. So yeah, that's interesting. I might be able to finish this today after all. Oh, I'm still missing one. It's over here. Try and centralize myself. Oh. I was really close. Nice.
Dreams of glass and colours bright fill my heart with a wondrous sight. The potter's shop is a prism of light, sparkling gems of colour in sight. A vessel
See,
of
and
each
now
hue and
Lula,
hue,
or
a
whoever the
liquid
poet
insight
is
to view,
back to
mysteries
using
of
literal
colour to
poetry.
explore.
We're
The
at the potter's
an
shop.
ocular chore.
Might have to actually wander around town for a while. Hard to see beams of light behind the buildings. So I need to actually pay attention to when they pop up. Ah. Here we are. Yeah, it's got to be really hard to see. Okay, let's pay attention. I gotta actually do my job now.
And emerald filters, ruby crucibles and cobalt crucifers, all connected with glass tubes.
I think it's
in a maze
cryospheres.
That was a sight to amaze. I pestered him with questions so bold. What is this? What is that? Tell me what's in this one, I've been told. His words were cryptic, his focus intense. With thick glass lenses, his eyes did not flinch. He spoke with a vocabulary so grand, words I'd never heard and couldn't understand.
Okay. Intersection beside a fence. Right here. Is it pointing me in the next direction I've got to go, perhaps?
Philosophia, a word I recall. He said it meant love of knowledge for all. A thick square bottle of sky blue he picked up. Peering through it, his thoughts began to set up. Dreams are gods of memory, he did say. Whispers of our world along the way. In a jar stood a liquid dark as night, darker than stars without any light.
Okay. Narrow alleyway. It might point in the next direction I gotta go. I'll try and pay attention.
A mystery before me, I sought to understand. What was this darkness I could not comprehend? He spoke with such awe, his words ringing clear, that this black void seemed to be quite queer. He picked up a feather and dipped it within. As he told me what I saw was a chance to begin. Infinite possibilities, though I could not perceive. The word he wrote on the vellum was GENIE, believe.
Huh. Okay. Nondescript door. It's this way. I suppose it does point me in the next direction I have to go. Oh, it's right here. Think we might have found our genie.
I awoke in the morning light. The sun was shining brightly. I pondered the genie and his word of the night. The stone was not a stone, he said, and with clarity I could see that it was something more than what it seemed to be. So I went my way, and with haste I did flee, away from the genie, to ponder and think, what could it be? Dreams and thoughts filled my head, and I felt a sudden glee. The stone was not a stone, I knew, for it was knowledge I could now see.
We might have found the genie. Part 9, Father. That's a lot of statues. How long do you think it took to make one of these? And they made like 20. Let me up. Thank you. Oh boy. Missed one. Yep, sure did. Way over here. Is that where I just came from, or is it in front of me? It's where I came from. No? It's in front of me. All right.
I remember that morning in a dewy blue field. My parents were frantic. For my safety they'd plead. I rushed off to see the potter, for answers I'd seek. But all I found was a candle burned down to its peak. The potter was writing. He didn't even look up. A chalice of clay lay broken and tattered in a cup. He said, "Go home, child, there's no more to see. You have all the answers that you'll ever need."
Is this a memory from the poet's childhood? Because she says she goes home and her parents are both there. The whole reason she's looking for the genie is because of her mom gone missing.
My father weaves with words of old, for tales of our kin to unfold.
That's a man.
In the warp and
That's
woof
some
of
dude.
every blanket and every basket and winter cap, he led me to the standing stones, where the seapods scraped along the stone. As I watched my father braid and weave, his stories of our kin I did receive. Silent hugs and a knowing look, my father shared his stories in a book.
Oh, that's interesting. You could still see the one that I'm on.
"Do you know why you are special, Lula?" said he with a task to explore. "Because I am the youngest," I guessed, though he laughed at my thoughts some more. He said, "There's something else that makes me rare," and he started to weave with some grass. "Some are hunters, and some are foragers. Some are builders, and some are collectors. Just like my mother, a walker, born with a fierce curiosity to explore." Beyond the next horizon, his eyes shone on this gift I was blessed evermore.
I don't understand. Do you know why you're special? Because you're curious? Because of your curiosity? Am I understanding that right? Maybe, maybe not.
He paused and looked at me, his eyes so full of pride, and spoke these words of wisdom that I still keep inside. "You are unique, and something more, a weaver and a walker. Your destiny to make and create, a maker of your own maker." He then gave me a glass
okay,
bracelet and a knowing
that
look,
I understand
as
that.
a reminder of the hidden depths that lay beneath the nook. Almost nothing is as it appears. So much more lies beneath, history and secrets, each one a part of the whole beneath.
Yes, beneath does rhyme with beneath.
He said this so calmly, with a twinkle in his eye, for I knew that no matter what, his words would never lie. The path I choose to take will shape the story of us all. To make sure it's a good one, I'd best take heed the call. I'll make my own decisions. My path I shall make clear, and when I meet the genie, I'll have no cause to fear. What is this life but an introduction so long? The decisions I make will be where I belong. My father spoke of a genie long ago that was said to bring sweet fortune and woe. My mother, she heard of the story too, and soon she was searching for it, it's true. She longed to be a weaver, not a walker, but could find no way to become the talker. Feeling sad, she left one day to find the genie on her way. Did she find what she was looking for? Did the genie bring her a new life to explore? We'll never know until she returns, but I'm sure she found the genie's magical yearns.
I don't know if this is metaphorical for our world or for a fictional world. Part 10, Clockmaster. Oh wow, this is kind of cool. I kind of like the place here. Giant gears running the city. This is actually kind of cool. Wow, I'm walking fast. Old-timey stuff. Welcome to the steampunk city. But yeah, I can't tell if this is like a metaphor for our world, walkers and weavers, or if it's a thing in that world. Like a fictional... I can't tell what the poem is trying to say. Hello? There we go. That was weird. It didn't activate.
The Clockmaster had a dream to make machines that never tire, that could move and lift and clear, and never got mired. He worked hard and made machines of steam, but the people didn't understand. They feared his strange dream. So he moved away to the city and made his machines there. The people still talked of him, though they were unaware that the Clockmaster had made great things that changed the land. And his machines still hum today, an ever-present hand.
I do like this city. This is really cool, though. Oh, didn't even have to turn my camera. Efficiency.
He caught me playing by the wheel and sat me down on a metal stump. He said, "I know you, Lula," in a gentle voice that was neither harsh nor gruff. He said, "You have the weaver's child. Your inquisitive mind is wild. We are not so very different, you and I." His words were warm, kind, and mild.
There's the texture popping in and out up there on the top right. I'll ignore that. It's popping in and out, like even down here. I see, it's an overlapping texture. No big deal. That's just, something entertaining that I see, that's all.
The people may say he's insane. They fear his contraptions, though they can't explain. He furrows his brow, his gaze to the town, where people go bout their day up and down. In a hushed voice he says, with a smirk, what they really dread is the truth to uncover. The truth of who they really are. That knowledge deep down they would never dare. The machine nearby stops, curiosity in its eyes, as it looks upon them, as if to realize.
Hearing my wife finally coming home. She's about 20 minutes late. Hope that wasn't anything serious. Oh, it's down here.
Lula, you must know that life's not a show, that some may think is full of magic and woe. The truth is much simpler, with no room for quibble, for it's just the time and the right kind of fiddle that can bring about life. That's not some great riddle, it's natural and inevitable, not a trick of the middle. So don't be afraid of the machines and their noise, for life is not just a thing meant for boys, it's a force of nature and nothing to fear, for with this knowledge we can move forward and persevere.
Life is not just a thing meant for boys? I'm sorry, what? Who in the world has ever said that? Welcome to r/brand new sentence. Life is not just a thing meant for boys.
What
hot
they
air balloon.
really fear in the face of their reflection is the thought that they too are a machine's conception. Though they think they are free, they are no more than a rat, unable to break out of their life's maze-like trap. He sighed, and then said as he walked away, "Lula, now go, machines need work today." He looked back and said with a voice so wise, "Stay curious, Lula, and open your eyes. Explore and find the genie and never give in. Question it all, the power is within."
I'm not sure I agree with this poem.
Question it all. I hear the voice in my head. My dreams of gods, the shaman said. Will their choices be the right ones made? Will the machines ever dream and take the time to learn, to choose, to be the kind of beings we all can see? It all sounds so absurd, I know, but still I must this thought bestow, that we must question, never cease, in the search for life's peace.
This is kind of another long chapter. It's not long, I guess. It's not long. I'm just maybe a little impatient finally. Hello, nurse.
Perhaps the clockmaster was mad, 'tis true. The stories of the shaman seemed so true. Should one dare to question what's been taught? Could it be that one'd go madly fraught? If I doubt the tales of the wise shamans, they may think me mad and wicked too. But there's one thing I know in my heart, that I'm not the one who's off the mark. So perhaps it's best if I just let be. The shamans are wise and can't be wrong. Let's trust their stories and leave it at that, and not question them, lest we become mad.
Okay, that's a weird statue. What in the world? Is that supposed to be a clown? I don't get it.
I dreamt of a carnival so bright it came to our village one night.
It's a clown.
The storm clouds loomed and winds did blow, tents and streamers to and fro. The hawker in his top hat cried, "Come one, come all and decide. Adventures or horrors you shall find. A game for $70, yours to bind." The
70
people,
bucks.
with eyes so wide and blank, filled in slowly with no rank, they came to the tent of mystery to test their wits and guile, you see.
What? Part 11 stat. We go from the Clockmaster and pondering the philosophy of life to, okay, and there was a carnival. Stag. Okay, that was odd. Have you guys ever heard the concept of Chekhov's gun? It's a it's a literary thing. I don't know if it's technically a device or not. It's an understanding in literature that you don't bring up stuff unless it's necessary. Don't think this author, the author of this poem, really recognized that. And there was a carnival. Just really, really random. Okay, beside the waterfall. Stag, like a deer, a male deer. This way.
Rushing through the forest, a stag in sight, my heart racing fast with a great delight. For memories
Stag,
of days
a deer,
of wandering free
a male
had come
deer.
back to me in a wild reverie.
With all kinds of weird
The scent
patterns
of the
on his
green
fur.
so
Wow.
fresh in the air, the singing of birds, I could not help but stare. When, round the corner, a crashing sound, a stag was there, fleet-footed I found.
I like finding deer out in the wild. It's nice. As long as I'm not driving at 70 miles an hour, but happening upon deer is nice. There's something about them that's like it's a reminder of the peacefulness of nature.
A stag so stricken, fear and pain, an arrow piercing through his frame. He stumbled to the ground at my feet, his breathing laboured, no reprieve. The Fletcher's shot was not so true. How far had he before he fell, his chest now heaving, fighting death? How long before his last breath?
You killed the deer? Oh man, what did he ever do to you? Man.
I stroked his fur and whispered lies, that all would soon be fine. His eyes were pleading to the skies, but he could not survive this time. An exhalation, and he was still. The world was cloaked in grief. Why did I have to bear the will and witness his relief?
You're the one who killed him. How could you do such a thing? So disappointing. I liked that deer. That's the most emotional that I've gotten today. Killing Bambi like that.
I have held the dying in my arms, so frail and pale, their eyes so dim, no more their tale. My faith in fate, it had been shattered. No gods, no heaven, no afterlife mattered. The shamans had lied to make us content, no divine power to make us repent. My broken heart, it could not mend. The pain of life, it would never end.
Yeah, I really disagree with this poem now. Where is... Oh, it's right here. Wait, what are we looking at?
Such falsehoods that deceive
I don't think
and
I like
hurt
that.
make us live life in low alert, making us think the present is not worth a dime, as if we're waiting for a future time. We pass the days in idle reverie, hoping for more, but life passes quickly. The moments we have all fleet away, and we've nothing left to show for our day. I've now realised faith is a cruel lie that tricks us into believing that nothing can die. But life is fleeting and moments will pass, and nothing will stay in our grasp.
Okay, what's the point in this poem? I killed a deer, so God must not exist.
The world may be broken, but still they persist. Their minds are closed and empty, not knowing what they miss. No truth can touch them, though it's right before their eyes. They wander through life, believing their own lies. For they fear death, knowing of its certain end. The truth they deny, a journey they pretend. Without knowledge, they wander through life in a daze. Loving themselves, they wander in a maze.
Okay, but I'm still hung up on that carnival. Mud and Blood, Part 12. I'm still hung up on that carnival. Care to go into more detail about that? What in the world? This is another one of those where I'm going to be wandering around for a while, isn't it? Oh, this is interesting, though. Look at all these cool paintings. That's cool. You gonna let me down? No. Oh, but there's a bridge right here. Yep, another one of those I'm walking around forever things. Sure looks like this is a door I could pass through. Nothing to interact with, though. How do I get down? Oh, staircase. Oh, man, this is going to be such a long chapter, isn't it? 25 minutes left of the stream, and I have to get through chapters 12, 13, 14, and 15. Ideally, I average 6 minutes a chapter. It's going to take me 6 minutes just to trigger the poem in this chapter. Wow, this one's big. That's a throne. A really big chair. Okay. Please be close. Please be close. Yes. You're close.
I remember the sight of the sun, so bright and bold. As I stepped out of the dark and into the cold, the sky was so vast with no bounds in sight, a world of pure bliss with clear blue so bright. We trod on the land with pelts to keep warm, our senses alive, so much to explore. The smoke rose around us in plumes so high, like inky rivers flowing to the sky.
Okay, well that's up the stairs. It's right up there. Jeez, how do I get up there? Yes, yes. Wow, this really all of a sudden hurts the peripheral vision.
I recall when cities were built and blades drawn from the rocks of a cavern so clear and so strong, the clang of the smithy and heat of his fire, burning the iron until it was red hot with desire. The eyes of those around, black and so deep, were filled with knowledge they'd gathered in heaps
Knowledge.
from the rain of the spring that shaped their domain.
You know what
and
I like
filled
more
their
than my
lands with a
brand new
mud that was so
Lamborghini?
plain.
Knowledge. That's all the way back at the entrance. Oh boy, I hope I remember how to get to the entrance. That's how.
I recall when we'd adorn the night with sacred fire, auroras of embers to spark and inspire.
Oh, is that what
When
this
the
part was?
moon's light was our guide and its sign, we'd make sure to honour its power divine. With the dawn of each day we'd seek out the stars, to follow their paths and learn from their bards. We'd use our knowledge to craft mandalas, to connect the lunar cycles and annals.
All the way back down. This chapter is going to last forever. That's fine. It is fine. It's my fault for being impatient. Still not sure what this statue is supposed to be. I'm pretty sure that the developer of this game, with all of their games, they just use free Unity assets and construct a game around it, so that statue is probably a free asset in Unity.
I recall the prayers of loyal steeds on marble cut with blood-filled creeds, the scent of stallions hot and sweaty, with madness wild and manes so netty. We crushed the grass and did not care, our fear seen in angel bones we'd tear. The wind was strict and had its way, it brought us rules, no time to play.
Where's that? I don't know where that is. Oh, it's right here. Well, it's poetry, Dim. That's what it is.
Here hunger matters, when laws of old are done, from rocks forbidden new dreams begun. Springs in the desert appear, and behold, a colt's eyes unbound with a story to be told. Monks of all kinds, they gather in place, tears streaming down as they sing and they pray, a mantra of life and a living belief.
Well, at
Here
least it's a
thirst
pleasant
matters,
voice.
just like hunger and
Whoever
grief.
this lady is that's doing the narration, at least it's a pleasant voice to listen to. If we had to listen to my voice this whole time, it'd be twice as bad.
The city's once bright streets were now a cesspit of disease, all its golden walls now cracked and split with ease. The roads were made of tar, no bread to eat, mustard weeds trampled down by the elite's fleet. Armoured locusts, beetles and mantids that prey,
The music's
assaults
giving
of
me
terror,
Lord of the Rings
bronze and
vibes.
dismay, the military parading in cloven hooves, an army of pestilence no one can prove.
It's probably even harder for you, Dim, because English isn't your first language, so poetry in English probably sucks. Yeah, definitely getting some Lord of the Rings vibes from the music.
This weary dirt, we came to seek relief from disobedience. With hot anvil's heat, we forged a golden light, flames burning bright, to speak the word of silence, vast and deep.
Well, I mean,
the mouth of forever opened wide
fair
once
enough.
more, across hot dunes, an ever-changing floor, a history we found, forgotten in halls, woven with contempt, and plucked apart no more.
I know where that is. And I'm pointing right at it. There are faces in that wall.
A stone is history, from the cool shade of palms, from old men's whispers, stories of outlanders. We have our roots of mud and blood, memories of blue marches,
Roll credits.
swaying grasses, a floral abundance, like a vivid
The chapter's
yes.
name is Mud and Blood.
These stories, a bludgeoning device, let us remember what we did not live, so that our history may be preserved, and new generations can thrive.
Long chapter. Is that up there? I think that's up there. Yeah, from what I've seen, most of the rest of the world teaches English as a second language. Like, pretty much mandatory in school. Whether people retain it or not's another question, but English is the de facto language of the world, so most people are taught it at least a little bit. Then, of course, you got people like me where English is the only language that they force you to learn.
The tales of seraphs with wings so divine, their kingdom beyond the muddied sky, cream-coloured in light and sweet honeycomb wine, floating in parades in splendour so high. Of trees and grand oaks they whisper in awe.
Well, actually, the
covering
most spoken
forest
language
with a
is
verdant
Chinese,
shawl. But still
that's
they
only
yield
because
to
there's
the
so many
thunder's
people
roar,
in China.
hoping in the sun's
I believe-
golden rays they'll scroll.
I believe in terms of first languages, it's Mandarin and then Spanish and then English. But in terms of most spoken languages, English is actually more common than Spanish, including second, third, etc. Part 13, Fever Dream. Another big one. Okay. But yeah, Chinese is number one. Mandarin Chinese. And, like, it's not even close. I've tried learning other languages. I grew up in Texas, and since it's on the border of Mexico, they pretty much try and get you to learn Spanish there. I tried, it just never stuck with me. Oh, that was it. Okay, not as big of a map as I thought. I learned German for 2 years in high school. I have forgotten most of it, but I could still say, Ich bin kein Mädchen! Very important. And of course, now I'm learning Japanese. It's a lot slower going with Japanese than it was with Spanish and German, but I'm retaining the information a lot better. And it's not just because I'm going to Japan next year, it's because I actually have fallen in love with the Japanese culture and I want to understand it better and I want to learn.
What I have seen,
I want to learn.
I can't forget.
Because I want to.
A vision of a people met, a sky of broken shards, an end so hard to bear. They held on to hope until no one was left. The end was a slow burn of a life so bereft. A vision of the future, a fever dream, fragments of memory, yet not of me. The final moments of a people doomed, a long drawn-out whimper of life so consumed.
A fever dream. That's how James Cameron thought up the Terminator. He had a fever, he had a dream of what ended up being a Terminator attacking him in a kitchen with a knife. He woke up and sketched it immediately and turned it into a movie. No joke. I've had some fever dreams, but most of them I don't remember, and the one or two I do remember I'm not comfortable sharing. They're weird.
I saw
Human brains are
fields of
kind of
death,
weird.
A merciless sight. Flags of fire burning bright. Millions of souls all gathered round.
There you go, Dim.
Praying without a sound.
1.4 billion
Hope
speakers.
that
That's
made them blind to the truth they couldn't find.
That's
a young mother.
A lot of
looking
people.
Up, trying to
That's
shield
almost a
her
fifth of
infant
the world's
from the cup.
population that speaks
Her
it.
tears the only water I saw. Hope had failed her. That I saw.
It's a pile of skulls. It's a pile of me. So English higher than Chinese. Well, it's because, like you said, Chinese is more than one language. Where was that? Was that the entrance? Where's the entrance? Great, I'm lost already. Can't go up that way. All I know is that if you go to most first world countries and you only know English, you're probably going to be fine. My wife and I went to France last year. The only French we bothered to learn were bonjour, au revoir, adieu, and parlez-vous anglais. And that was enough. I think I talked to exactly one person there who did not speak any English whatsoever. Everyone else was at least conversational, and most of them were fluent.
The snow falls on a stilled world. The beauty,
and I'm sure it'll be the
does
same
not
way
unfurl.
everywhere I go.
The light of life, a distant spark. The gloom of death,
At least
a
for the
heavy
foreseeable
mark.
future.
The life that once was here is now a frozen, silent sphere. No more the birds will sing and soar. The world is still forevermore. The snow that falls, a silent tear. For all that's lost, a sad career. A hush has fallen, a great repose. A frozen tomb, no one knows.
Well, it was probably just because I was only in Paris, but I actually didn't find any hostility in France at all. All the people there were very nice, very helpful. I struggled with quite a few things, and they were all very patient with me and were happy to help. Wow, that was a two-step trip to the next trigger. it helps when you go to any country
There is no greater
where their
love
first
than
language
to
is something
be
else. It always
remembered,
helps to learn
a
a
gift
few
that can
key
bring us
phrases. You
near
know,
eternity.
hello,
For
thank
those who
you.
fear the end of life's bright
Those
ember,
go a long way. Just
imagination
making the
helps us
effort to
cross
show that you've
boundary.
bothered to learn a
We
few
can't
words
comprehend an
will
absence
already
of
open up
imagination,
the
a world
politeness
of no
and stuff.
thought, sound, or sensation. So we seek to
Like, it
ignore
goes
the
a
great
lot farther
unknown
than you might think.
and deny death's finality
So,
with its own throne.
same as when we're going to Asia next year. So, as I said, I'm learning Japanese, which is great. I'm trying to learn a few key Chinese phrases as well because we're going to Shanghai and Hong Kong and Taipei, although Taipei is in Taiwan and I don't know any Taiwanese. Part 14, Bloom. But in Chinese, you know, hello is ni hao, and thank you is xie xie. So I'm learning a few key phrases for there as well. China is going to be a lot harder to navigate than most other places because they are, you know, they're China. They're very anti-West. But we're going to go in, take a picture with Mickey Mouse, and get out of there. So I'm sure I'll be fine. Since we're going to be going basically just to Disney properties, staying on Disney properties, going into Disney parks and the airport, and that's it. We're probably going to be fine. How do I get over there? Oh, I see. Bridge. Okay, I'm going to push through and finish this game today, even if I do go a little over. Oh man, this is another big one. This is a really big one. And I'm lost. So I'm lost as to where we are in the story, so I should probably start paying attention. Where the heck is that? It's way over there. Oh man. It's all the way back at the beginning. Oh, you want to talk about not caring about traffic rules? India. Have you seen the video? India and Vietnam. I think the videos I've seen of the traffic in those two countries in particular are among the most chaotic I've ever seen. Like, there are no rules. It's just good luck. Don't get hit. Oh no, how do I get over there? That's... Ah, man, that's far. I am 100% going over. No, wait, seriously, how do I get over there?
There we go.
That's how. You take the Indiana Jones approach.
A moment of such beauty and grace.
Oh, it's a
flower
single
so
flower
small
in the snow.
Its place. A
It's
bloom
poetic,
of
do you
petals
get it?
so fair, amidst the frozen garden so bare. The sun shone warm, the birds did sing, a reminder of life's precious thing. A crack in stone, a sign of woe, yet the flower bravely did grow. A ray of hope on a winter's day, a sign of life that must not fade away. Kneeling by a snow-white flower, I paused in awe, astounded by its power. In a world of frozen nothingness, it seemed so delicate, so helpless. But something deep within its core must have enabled it to endure the harshness of the elements, and against all odds it was sent. It's not a trick of some mysterious fate, but a fortunate incident of nature's state. Like life itself, it's not quite magical, but wonderful nonetheless that it's here at all.
You can't make the game all nihilistic and then go, oh, but there's this little flower that is pushed through despite it all. This game is sending mixed messages. And we still need to find the
Riddle
genie.
me this. I'm oft confused. The shaman's teaching seems obtruse. I've seen a birth and death, both real, which isn't part of the god's dream deal. The world around us, we conceive, is natural, not an entity. But still I ponder o'er this thought. The flower I saw made me distraught. My thoughts I dare not share. They say I'm wrong, for to challenge their shamans is not strong. They'd think I had lost sight of the divine, and that reverence towards life I do not find. But I do seek the beauty of a flower so small, that amidst a garden freezes and yet stands tall, a sign of life that I can clearly see. It's a profound
I needed to
reverence I
average
wholeheartedly
6
feel.
minutes per chapter, and I am averaging 10. It's not that they're long chapters. Like, come on, 10 minutes to go through a walking simulator chapter, that's not long. I guess I'm just a little impatient. And I really
Life
shouldn't be.
is a marvel, a feat of chance, so rare, so precious, given to us by circumstance. It didn't have to be, yet here it stands, a testament to time and its mysterious hands. It's not some grand design, no fate divine, but a quirk of nature, its beauty so fine. For life is a champion, a force to be reckoned, a feat of the cosmos, an enigma beckon.
It is super tempting to just skip through this. Super tempting. But I won't. I know that there's people watching who want to see the poem, in which case I apologize for talking over a lot of it.
Tucked between two
I'd love to see what a
of
speedrun of
emptiness
this
so
game can do.
grand,
Like,
a brief shining
under an
moment
hour
here
easy,
to
right?
take a stand. Life, so rare, so beautiful it sings, in me a joy, my heart forever clings. To never squander a moment, however fleeting, this one chance to life I am now meeting. We live and laugh, learn and grow old. Love, death, between them we can be bold. Let us make it beautiful. This chance we are granted. We'll seize this life, and with it be enchanted.
oh yeah, tourists are... There's two types of tourists. There's the tourist who is as respectful of everyone as possible, and the tourist who thinks that they are the king of the world and you must bow to their every whim.
I do not despair. My fate is determined, and I will go where I'm steered, though I may not know what I'll find at the end of my road. I know that I've lived, and that is my gift bestowed. Through pain, sorrow and joy I have lived life to the hilt. I have loved and I've loved. I have given and been split. Though the end may be near, I shall not rue the day, for I've had this one chance to live life my own way.
Okay, here we go. Chapter 15. This is the last one. Genie. Is this going to be another one of those weird endings like that other game I played? Possible. Oh, no, this is a pretty one. And good feelings gone. Is this it? Is this the final thing?
The genie stands so still, yet alive and organic. The wizard too, his voice I hear again, speaking from unmoving lips. I understand my journey has brought me to the mountain of fire, where the genie stands, mysterious and dire. I am Lula. Here I stand, before the genie's eye, ready for the challenge, whatever it may be. Why?
This is, I can appreciate the skybox. That's a very pretty skybox. But I guess I should have known it would be weird.
In facing the shadows of your soul, you have found strength, found hope and grown. The answers you sought, they're in you whole. And you've gathered all the shards, now you're not alone. The wizard who sought to bring you down is still wandering on a longer road. He thought it was easy, but he's been found. And now you can touch the genie. Your program has been foretold.
Your program has been foretold? What?
I asked him of the genie, and
Is that
he
the poet?
explained with care.
Is that
The
Lula?
computational construct, a processor was there. He'd introduce a packet of data with Lula as its name. My first moment was before I chose the path I'd claim. He
Excuse
told
me?
me that the genie could help with information flow. It had organized the data and run the program we know. It'll be my guide and helper with answers I require. It'll make my life much easier with no need to aspire.
Isn't Elon Musk working on one of those? I really don't know about this ending. This was such a promising start, it's just gone
Lula
downhill.
heard the words of the sage, that she had the power that could engage to create a world of her own will that would manifest with a touch of a seal. Her mother and father, and Rafiso too, would be in the world that she'd make anew. She'd lay her hand on the genie and decide what would be real, and the program would abide. Back to your home, your village so true. Your mother and father are waiting for you. A program is set to run endlessly. The joy of reuniting will bring you glee.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Once a program, but now so free, to laugh, to learn, and love to be. Run anywhere, no need to pause, to live a life, no need to cause. The other wizard will be gone, verify the bug and move on. Thankful for the journey here, no more thoughts of fear, my dear.
So is this good for me or not?
My hand was trembling as I touched the genie's side. Its warmth was like a dream, and I felt alive. The fantasy I'd built was suddenly real. Forgetting that it once was code, I did not feel. I'd be with my parents soon, I knew inside. A freedom and joy to be shared side by side. A tale of magic I'd soon be able to tell, for I had released a genie from a magical spell.
I kind of feel like
my
this
lines
is...
may end with a rhyme, but let it begin once upon a time.
I kind of feel like maybe this world is something like Tron, where all the people are programs in a computer and she's just been given free will, perhaps. I don't know. I'm very confused. I feel like that poem was supposed to be deep, but I just don't get it. We got our plat. One more plat to add to our list of 2025. This is 2024, not 2025. Well, that's it. That's where the stream ends. Amy Weisenfeld. You know, poem aside, well performed. Not bad. I'm going to be back on Friday where I'll be playing Pretty Girls Klondike Solitaire Plus. Looking forward to that. So, been a while since I played a Pretty Girls game. Looking forward to coming back. Klondike Solitaire. Yeah. All right, that'll be Friday. And of course, I'll be back on Sunday to conclude Rainbow Skies. So, got a lot of stuff coming up here in the next few days. Thank you, Dimlord, Andrewia, and T1000 for being here, Mr. Schwarzenegger himself. Shout out to the lurkers and shout out to everyone watching on YouTube afterwards. I'm sorry that I talked over so much of the poem. On behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have yourselves a great day and a great week. I'm going to bed. Bye-bye.